Hey guys, what is up? AwesomeTheSauce here. Hope you guys are having a great day and welcome to a video where I'm going to be talking about news that honestly I've been following for a couple of days. It's very exciting stuff, but basically it's about Wizard101 Europe. Now if you guys don't know, there's a lot of servers that Wizard101 operates, especially under KingsIsle, and basically the big one is obviously the North American server. That's the one that I play on. It's where a lot of my viewers are from. But there are other servers, and until very recently, they were not actually controlled by KingsIsle. I think they were contracted to another company, but starting today, there's a transition process where now they're under KingsIsle again. Now, this is a big deal. I needed to make a video about this because it's literally been 12 years since the last time, if I'm not wrong, that KingsIsle has actually controlled the servers abroad. And it also gives a lot of insight into what's happening in the game, what could be happening in the future, and there's just a lot of news surrounding this. In case you guys are unaware, right? Basically, they have this process now where if you have been playing on Wizard101 Europe servers, you have to get like a code, and basically by using that code, you can log in to a new website that's operated by KingsIsle. You save all of your progress, all of your crowns, you save all of your, I think you basically don't have to literally lose any progress, but you basically are relocated into a new server that's in Wizard101 Europe, basically. There's just a whole new server that I guess has never been used before. Now, there's some pros and cons to this that I thought I would talk about before we really dive deep into what this means for Wizard101. Big pro, obviously, is the fact that you can save progress. Now, this is just, I think this just goes without saying. I feel like the second a game gets to the desperate point where they are willing to, I guess, make a new server, but they're not willing to save progress, if they get to that point, that normally means very bad things for the game. Because they're taking the risk of killing a whole population just in order to, like, I don't know, reacquire the game on international grounds. It's very good news that they're actually seeing a worthy investment in actually changing over servers but saving progress. That is very good news. It says a lot about the fact that there probably are enough people, at least, playing abroad that they're actually, it makes sense to save their progress. It makes sense to save their crowns. It makes sense to treat them with dignity as customers, all of that jazz, right? It makes sense. From a money standpoint, it probably makes a lot of sense to them. That itself is a gigantic pro in my opinion, because honestly, there's a lot of talk all the time about games, especially MMOs that are this old. I feel like Wizard101 has a lot of like things that are, you know, fairly old in terms of their design, right? I mean, their graphics, I feel like that's something that people talk about a lot. But honestly, in my head, one of the things that I really think about when I think about something outdated with Wizard101 is membership. I feel like a membership-based MMORPG, that's not as common these days. Normally, you'd buy expansions, and that's how the company would make money, and that's how the customer would interact with the game. The fact that there are that many people internationally that are paying membership to the point where it actually makes sense to save their progress when changing servers, it means something very good for, I guess, the long-term future of KingsIsle. It's the fact that they do have a successful subscription-based campaign, sort of, like abroad. But I think the bigger one is the con, in my opinion. I kind of wanted to talk about this. It's the fact that even though they are saving the progress of the people in Wizard101 Europe, it's not going to be a server merge. That means if someone's playing in Spain, someone's playing in France, whatever, right? They're not going to be able to interact directly with someone like me in the US or North American servers. And I've kind of talked about this in length, but I feel like that's somewhat of a gigantic shame. And that's just because, like, I feel like a community is always more vibrant when you can interact with more people. And I also think if there truly are enough people that are playing abroad, combining them with North American servers would probably make for a completely different and, like, it would be a really hype experience in my opinion. I do have a feeling that for now, I don't think they have the resources to merge all of the servers, but what I'm hoping is that the con that I really want to talk about here, which is the fact that there isn't a merge happening, I hope that's still something that they leave on the table, especially as they update the game more and more and try to modernize it, which seems to be something that they're doing every single update. Whether you like the changes or not, they're clearly experimenting with a lot of ways they can make the game different, and I do think it's working. I've seen a lot just in the past week, right? We've seen them giving away free memberships in emails. We've seen them literally make Crocotopia and Wizard City free for the last week. We've seen membership loyalty stores, right? Like, that's a really big concept that tries to aim at longevity in this game in a way that I don't think Wiz has done in the past. So if they're doing all that, I would hope that an overall, you know, server merge is on the table. Again, I just think that makes sense for the long-term health of a game. That being said, there's also a silver lining in this. If they don't need to justify a whole server merge, that probably means that there's enough people on each servers that the game's just doing well enough that they don't need to consider that right now. Some people actually talk about this, right? When a big MMO has to merge servers, often it means that they're cutting costs because one of the servers is too small to justify having a server there to begin with. So the fact that they don't need to do that, it is a positive thing in some ways, but I genuinely think they're missing out on what could be a much like, you know, much more diverse community, much more active community throughout all the hours of the day. If they had a much more international community in one server, I feel like it would be cool. But let's talk about what Wizard101 Europe players are actually getting out of this. This is also a very big deal because this is very generous for KingStyle. If you transfer over, you get 2 weeks of membership literally for free, no matter who you are, which honestly in 2 weeks you can actually, I mean, if like summer's coming up, a lot of people, especially in Europe, I don't know how the schools work, but I feel like if I'm not wrong, a lot of people are probably entering summer very, very soon. So this little 2-week period could actually encourage a lot of people to try the game if they have more free time and maybe even spend the summer doing it. And the really, really big deal with this merge for European players anyways is the fact that they're actually going to be caught up in terms of updates. I say this because I feel like for them to not be caught up would be crazy because they've been so behind on updates up to this point that there is a whole section of the world that plays Wizard101 that is not experiencing Wizard101 in the way that it is right now. To give you guys context, like, you know, all of these spellments on spells that have been in the game for 10 years, they're not going to get that probably for another year if this merge didn't happen. They wouldn't have gotten it. But I feel like now if KingStyle is in charge of everything, I don't think that they need to like wait anymore. My theory on this is that GameForge bought the game from KingStyle and they bought each update as it happened and made the money back through membership, crowns, all of that. Or they had an agreement where something like that happened, where maybe they didn't buy each installment, but it was a delayed thing. But now that KingStyle's the one in charge of the European servers, I don't think they have to wait. They're probably going to basically just put out all the updates and everyone from every part of the world can actually take part in it. And I do think that's going to mean a lot. You feel me? You're going to be able to build an international audience. And I honestly think it would have been super detrimental to think about all the things that they're putting out and they just released them a year late for a huge number of people that play Wizard101. In fact, I wonder how much of a bad impact it actually did have on people that did play abroad. And I wonder if now that it is going to hopefully be up to date, are there going to be people from all parts of the world that kind of gave up on Wiz that are now not willing to do that anymore? It's a little too early to know how successful this transition is going to be, but it definitely seems like they're putting a lot more resources into this than I've ever seen them put into Wizard101 Europe before. In fact, they've already apparently created an official Discord, which is like, again, this is like on another level of like actually up with the times when it comes to Wiz in general. So it gives me a lot of hope. I don't know what exactly is in this official Discord, but there's a lot of things. It seems like it's going to open more to the public as there are more announcements this week. But again, if you're one of my viewers that are abroad, please give it a try because honestly, it seems like they're actually giving it their all to make it an enjoyable experience for anyone who actually wants to save their progress and play on an international server if they play Wiz. I hope you guys enjoyed this video. I think the big takeaways is that there definitely are enough international players that there is no need for a server merge, is what I think. And I also think that maybe the ability for them to merge servers is a possibility in the future now because KingStyle owns everything. And most importantly out of all, the customers that are abroad are being treated with some level of respect with this whole free membership thing. They're being catered to with the Discord, and also they're gonna have hopefully up-to-date updates, which means there could be a huge portion of players that haven't experienced Wiz the way a lot of others have from North America, and maybe they'll like the game, and I'm very excited for that. As always, drop a like if you enjoyed the update video, leave a sub if you're new, let me know in the comments what you guys think. Do you guys think this is going to be a success? Do you guys think it's worth doing what they're doing? Do you guys think their approach is good? Let me know everything in the comments. I'd love to hear y'all's opinions. And as always, if somebody has not told you you're awesome today, they doing something wrong, so stay awesome, and yeah.